Joining us in the kitchen today is John Cena.
All right, he's one of the biggest wrestlers in the WWE. Dan had such a great time reliving his favorite childhood sport. Let's talk to John Cena.
John, you're doing a lot of work with the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. Why does it hold such a special place for you?
Originally, I had a personal experience with cancer. My younger brother was diagnosed with brain cancer, and emotionally, that's a bit of a pill to swallow. Through early detection and proper treatment, my brother is completely on the mend and is pretty much risen above cancer. But I wanted to use my status and my social impact to reach as many people as I could to try to make them aware about this disease. So I searched for the loudest voice, and Susan G. Komen was an obvious fit for the loudest voice. Now, I never thought a 36-year-old, 6'1", 250-pound male would be the flag bearer on the fight against breast cancer, but it truly is a great fit. We have a wonderful audience at WWE. Millions and millions of fans both watch us every week and are interactive socially. So I used the loudest voice in the Rise Above Cancer movement, combined with my impact in the WWE, and here we are, getting the gear and joining the fight to rise above cancer.
When did you realize you were going to be able to make a lucrative living or just a career out of wrestling?
I think when it became a true passion. Making it a career, obviously, that takes a certain amount of capitalizing on every opportunity. But I remember when I first heard about the ability to train to become a sports entertainer, I didn't know there was such a thing. It was a very protected craft over a decade ago. So when I actually saw a ring that I could get in and maybe work a regular job on the week and be a superhero for the weekend, it certainly was something I knew that I wanted to do as long as I could possibly do it. It was a perfect avenue for me. Me being an offensive lineman as a collegiate football player, but one with a little bit of character, it really was a perfect fit for me.
Well, what kind of looks did you get from people at work when they say, "What are you doing this weekend?" You're like, "Oh, I'm going to be a wrestler."
Telling people you're going off to do what you do for the weekend, I think over a decade ago it was a little bit socially awkward. But 10 years ago, I can say a lot of people were confused, including my parents, but they all supported me, and it's been all good ever since.
Well, what did your parents say, though? Because those had to be interesting conversations.
My dad is actually a lifelong wrestling fan. It was like yin and yang. My dad is a lifelong wrestling fan and was over the moon excited, even though my first contract was literally for pennies. And my mom just didn't understand. She didn't understand that that was actually a job and something that could actually be done. And even today, she kind of doesn't get the grasp of everything. But she's proud of her son, and the family's all proud, so I just keep doing what I do.
Who's a peer you look at and you say, that guy's legitimately crazy? I don't want to have anything to do with him. He's nuts away from what it is that we do.
Vince McMahon. But I love the guy. I say that about him all the time. He's my boss, and I love him, but he is a crazy genius. I'll put it to you like that.
Well, give me an example. What's the angriest you've seen him get? Give me an example of your biggest confrontation.
Everybody gets angry. He's the equivalent of a Tommy Lasorda fit on an umpire or an old Earl Weaver fit on an umpire. That is Vince McMahon when something goes wrong.
What is the greatest shame you've ever experienced in the ring? Have you had a personal embarrassment?
Losing to The Rock at WrestleMania 28 in Miami. I spent a year telling everybody how important that match was to me and how proud I am of all of this. And The Rock was gracious enough to come back to the WWE and perform for one time and one time only at WrestleMania 28 in his hometown. And I didn't get the job done. So,
but of course you were going to lose. That was predetermined, though. Why? That's not actual shame, is it? You still feel shame?
There is a giant underlying story that you may or may not know about to that, and it was I really would have liked to have been on top that night.
But what's it like going into something like that important to you, knowing that it's not going to go the way you want it to?
It's the good with the bad. Like I said, the unique thing about WWE is it is sport and it is entertainment, and it is the best of both. Everybody wants to be the Super Bowl champion, but there can only be one. So it was a bit of a disappointment that on that night I couldn't be.
But what's the underlying story there? How many details can you give us on what actually happened there? Because it sounds like you thought that you were going to be the champion, and
that's one of those stories that years from now they're going to put Dwayne Johnson on one seat in a table and me on the seat in a table, and I'll be smoking a cigar, and we'll both be drinking something out of a coffee cup, and we'll tell that story then.
Cena, I can't believe how guarded you are. You're a flamboyant character. I can't believe that you're protecting these secrets. Is there like a book and profit in the future or something?
Let's hope there is, and if there is, I know you're going to check it out because I can tell how excited you are about all this.
I mean, it is. It's pretty interesting. You seem personally crushed that you didn't win a match that you thought you were going to win, and it's strange.
Well, it's like I said, it's an interesting story, and obviously it's one that you want to hear about. So hopefully someday at the right time you will.
John, my father wants to participate. Go ahead, Poppy.
Worst job you ever had?
Worst what?
Job.
Worst job I ever had?
Yeah.
I was a limo driver before GPS systems, and I did not, being a small town boy, I did not know my way around. I thought it was going to be easy work in the car all day, but every pickup was late and every customer was dissatisfied. I was a bad limo driver.
How long did you do it for?
I lasted for 2 weeks. I think a total of 12 pickups, around 12 pickups. Every one of them horrible.
Fired or resigned?
I was fired. No, I was let go. Company downsizing. It wasn't my fault.
John, thank you for being on with us.